the sunset, bills on my mindset, I can't deny it. Getting higher, higher than my income's breadcrumbs. I've been trying to survive. The glow that the sun gets right around sunset helps me realize that this is just a journey. Drop your worries, you are gonna turn out fine. Oh, you turn out fine. Fine, oh, you turn out fine. But you gotta keep your head up, oh, and you can let your head down, hey. You gotta keep your head up, oh, and you can let your head down, hey. I know it's hard, to remember sometimes, but you gotta keep your head up, oh, and you can let your head down, hey, 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 hey. I got my hands in the
Honestly, I think all of society is very greedy. They only do what benefits themselves and they want to earn the most amount of money and have a high status in the world.
eyes and seen all the angles, thoughts get tangled. I start to compromise my life and my purpose. Is it all worth it? Am I gonna turn out fine? Oh, you turn out fine. Fine. Oh, you turn out fine.
Sometimes I got kind of worried during the simulation, but I just took a step back and I asked myself, what would I do if this were real life? Because it is called Civic Mirror. Haha, pun.
Remember sometimes, but you gotta keep your head up, oh, and you can let your head down, hey, hey, hey. Only rainbows after rain, the sun will always.
I think in the real world, like Olivia said, a lot of people are greedy, but there's also ways for or to benefit yourself while helping others.
Like in a class, the citizens who work the hardest and who are the most involved usually end up being successful. However, the citizens who do not put in much effort and are disengaged from society usually end up with less money, less status and well-being points, and suffer the most deaths.
I think one of my strengths during the simulation was fulfilling my hidden agenda. As you guys may know, I was a fascist. Just kidding. I was an environmentalist. But I think I did pretty good with it. We only had one tree go down in the simulation, and I think that's pretty good considering we had to make a new power plant. So I thought that was really good. I also think another one of my strengths were friendship and being friendly with others. This really helped, especially since I wasn't that wealthy. I got some cheap food and some other cheap stuff.
I think my major strengths during the simulation were leadership and creativity. During the simulation, I came up with a budget plan, which took me about 4 hours, but I was pretty proud of the results. During the legislative event, the second year, I came up with a new way of how to run it because I was kind of annoyed the first time because I thought it was really disorganized, even though it was kind of fun, but I thought it worked better the second time when we had a hopper, which Jackson so awesomely held. And also, I was House Representative twice, so I think that I was good at being a leader and coming up with new ideas.
I felt like I cooperated well with the other citizens, especially in Senate when people would come up to me and ask me to support their bills. I was also willing to negotiate on food prices, especially if people didn't have money to spare. So basically, you need to cooperate with others in order to get what you need.
I didn't think I had any particular weakness, but throughout the whole class, I think it was more of making an agreement with everybody. And I know this is really hard, especially in the participation bill that ROM tried to pass. I know a lot of other students and my peers were not able to get online, and I don't know if that was due because they were lazy and didn't want to, or if it was actually because they weren't physically able to.
My weakness involved not participating much during the summer town hall events. While most of the other students weren't afraid to voice their opinions on laws and other issues, I didn't. If I could do it again, I would definitely bring up matters that were important to me because it might affect others too.
I'm perfect. I didn't have any weaknesses in Civic Mirror. Just kidding. Sometimes I got really wrapped up in what I wanted to do, and sometimes it was hard for me to listen to others, kind of like my way or the highway, except for I usually overcame that and tried to work with others, but sometimes I felt like a bad person because I really just wanted to do what I wanted to do, so sorry guys.
When Rome's in ruins, we are the lions, free of the Colosseums, in poison places.
This simulation experience has changed my attitude towards the government of our country. Before, I always thought of Congress, the president, and court as something totally separate from the rest of society, but now I feel connected and also more knowledgeable about how our government works.
Were there surprises in Civic Mirror? Yes, definitely. Probably one of the biggest surprises were that sometimes little things, like ideas, can have big effects. For example, the idea to build the energy hex. It was a little idea, or a pretty big idea. We weren't sure if it would work, but it ended up happening and we built an energy hex out of a house to save the environment. And that ended up causing some negative externalities.
Passing a bill and how a bill is actually made was something that we learned probably the most out of doing the simulation of Civic Mirror. We did it a couple times, especially in the legislation event where the committees make a bill and come up with the idea.
One of the biggest frustrations in the simulation was scarcity. Because, like we talked about in econ, you can't always get what you want. Sometimes demand exceeds the supply, and you need to find out a new way to get the resources you need, and the suppliers need to find out a way to allocate the resources without being biased.
During Civic Mirror, we learned 3 really big lessons. One of them was to always communicate with others. Communicating really helps you get involved in the game.
We also learned that participation is really important, and I think that our class did a pretty good job with participation, and I think when everybody participates that things in life and in the simulation can go really well.
Finally, in order to truly succeed in Civic Mirror, you've got to have a good attitude right from the get-go. That's what makes the game so fun. If you're eager to contribute, you can really make an impact on society.